everyone, welcome to the pre-match. This is what happens when you leave Gally in charge of hosting for a couple of days and he messes up all the videos. But yes, the lineup is out. Liverpool taking on Manchester United. I already have like the stomach thing going, so we'll see how that goes. Half an hour. I'll get distracted with Fenerbahce playing at the same time. But Kazi, Brian, Serzi is here with us. Gentlemen, the lineup is out. A pleasant surprise and maybe not so pleasant of a surprise with Konate being in, but no sign of Szoboszlai. He's ill, I guess, is what I'm getting out of this. So Jones start instead. Kazi, we'll start with you. What do you think? I mean, I think it's everything as we expected, plus Konate, minus Szoboszlai.
Yeah, it's like, you get a nice Christmas present and they take one away. In terms of the game, but only because I think Szoboszlai is playing his best football that he has since he joined Liverpool. So that's disappointing, of course, for this game. But having Konate back, I think it makes us stronger anyway. I don't think the difference between Jones and Szoboszlai is massive, but I think the difference between Konate and Kwanzaa is if Konate can get back to that level of where he was. Very brave from the manager picking Konate, especially when the sounds that he's only had 2 training sessions probably with the team. Probably trained yesterday as well. So he's only had 2 training sessions with the team. So that's very surprising considering his track record of injuries. But clearly the manager thinks he's fit, and that's good. That's good to hear. And before people say, "Oh, you can just take him off after 70," you don't really sub centre halves often. It's very rare unless you're very comfortable in the game. So the manager sees this one or two ways. Number one, he doesn't trust Kwanzaa. Or number 2, he thinks we're just going to batter them and then he's going to bring Kwanzaa on anyway. So hopefully it's the latter and we can all go from there.
Yeah, actually, that's a good point because I was not sure how to take that, Serzi. Is it he is good enough, he's ready, or doesn't trust Kwanzaa to the point where a cold Konate coming off of an injury is preferred over Kwanzaa?
Yeah, it's brave. It's like what Kazi said on Discord. It's a brave decision. We don't generally take centre backs off halfway or 3/4 away through the game. So, but I think he'll probably do that and get Kwanzaa some minutes so he can play for the big game against Accrington Stanley. Obviously, saving Szoboszlai for Accrington Stanley. Huge game coming up. So, but yeah, it's a shock. It's a pleasant shock as long as he can stay fit and as long as he can stay on the pitch. Szoboszlai not playing, it's a hard one to take in some ways, but the fall off from Szoboszlai to Jones it's not much. It's minute compared to the uplift that you get from Kwanzaa to Konate. So yeah, it's other than that, it's a team that we expected and. Pleasantly surprised with Konate and just disappointed Szoboszlai's not even on the bench.
That's the only thing, Brian. I think this, we felt like this was a great game, an ideal game, if you will, for Szoboszlai. So not having him and having Jones in there instead, not that it doesn't suit Jones either. I mean, some of our big victories against United, Jones was in there. So what do you make of that Jones to Szoboszlai switch?
It definitely changes the tactics right there because Szoboszlai basically runs at them and pulls and basically pulls defenders out and opens up play. Where I think Jones is a little bit more quirkier and a little bit more movement through there. I mean, it's two different ways of play right there that are so different right there. I mean, I think that both have their advantage. But like I said right there, I thought that Szoboszlai, this is a perfect match because their center halves are shit. I mean, so I think that would have been like a perfect thing right there to go there and start pulling them up and opening up space for Diaz and for Mo and Gapco. But I'm still good with Jones though. Because Jones is definitely his work rate is pretty intense. So I think that's it's a different player, but it's also a different problem that United's going to have against us.
There's a part here though, Tim. I'll ask you a question. If you have 70% of the ball, who do you want on the ball? Jones or Szoboszlai?
Jones.
So that's another part of the question that you could have, that it could be a benefit in that sense. I know what you're saying, Tim. I'm again, off the ball, Szoboszlai is so important, especially away from home. He's the only one who has the power and the press and the size and the physicality to really win the ball back. But if you're going to have the ball, I want someone with a bit more creativity and a bit more nous.
See, I think in the past, like if it wasn't Amarim and he wasn't trying to prove a point, you can see them parking the bus and you can see us being on the ball a lot more. I think we still will have more possession, but I feel like Szoboszlai would be better than Jones, and most likely he would probably pick Szoboszlai over Jones if he was available, especially arrested Szoboszlai, who was suspended. So now he's getting an extended leave, I guess, in some ways, and also affects what we'll probably end up doing in the game, like next game. But we'll talk about that because we talked about this, right? Like easing some of the guys in kind of a deal. So we'll probably take a look at that. But going back to the lineup, there's a Chiesa sighting on the bench over there, Kazi. Does that go back to what you're saying that the manager is expecting? Like, are you shocked to see Chiesa over there, or is it just because there's no Szoboszlai, so there's no Jones, whichever way you look at it, on the bench? So there's no open spots.
He's a first team player, isn't he? He's just not fit, and he hasn't been fit. He's been ill. He's a very valid option to have in our front six, let's say, as a sixth choice option, fifth choice option. So no, I don't expect that. Listen, I think if Liverpool win handsomely, which is all the dream here, then you'll probably get minutes today. But again, he's a first team player. And I don't like the little Chiesa diggings. I really don't. And I know it's kind of coming like an on-running joke. I don't. The lads came injured, and he's not up to the full physicality and fitness. And Liverpool are in no rush to need him or use him because we're top of everything and we're winning every game. So why rush him back? And why? Because then you rush him back and he gets injured again, or you rush him back and he looks poor, and we all go, he's crap. It's like, you know what I mean? It's a double-edged sword, and a little bit similar. We have a couple of games coming up in the next week, which probably will feature in at least.
Yeah.
Especially Accrington. You might get 20 against Spurs in the League Cup. So I'm excited to see him. And I really do think he has a big part to play still in this season for Liverpool.
Yeah, I don't know why he gets so much shit. Like, I don't know, because we need somebody.
We need someone to pick on. It was Thiago for years. We needed a player to pick on.
Slot. But I mean,
and we just need someone. Yeah.
When we signed him, everyone was talking smack about his injury history, even though recently he did not have, and he had played a lot of games in Italy. Yeah. But I think that's part of it, maybe. Like all these people who were already complaining about his injury history when we didn't sign anybody in the summer, he was the only signing. Is like, of all people, we signed this guy with an injury history. So whenever he's not available now, those guys come out of the dark and kind of like talk smack. But
I mean, come March right there, you're going to need Chiesa. When these fishers start getting congested, you're going to need a play that type of creativity and that type of player in there to go there to alleviate a Mo or to alleviate a Szoboszlai or a Gakpo, something like that. So I don't understand the stick either. I think that Chiesa is a very talented player. It's just a lot to get used to playing in the English game because it's so different from Italy. I mean, he's got to get integrated some way right there. I mean, even if I know he's had like a couple little nicks and stuff like that, and a little bit of illness that goes through there, but he has to get eased into this right there. We said the same thing about so many different players that have come in from Italy and Spain. Oh, why aren't they doing this? Why aren't they integrating? Why aren't they integrating? And the thing is, the problem is, this is so different of a type of football from continental football.
There's a party about as well, Tim, as well. This month is massive for him, Chiesa, if he can get on the bench and that, because you have Spurs in the Cup, Accrington, you have two dead rubbers, basically Champions League dead rubbers, and then an FA Cup fourth round potentially.
Yeah, it's a huge opportunity for him to get some minutes and get going.
This is a big month, I would say, for him for this season to get some minutes and get up to speed in those games because we're going to need him in those 5 games at least.
Ryan is in the house. Yeah. He says these games against wounded animals on the past worried me, but I'm very confident today.
Have you seen that?
I mean, so is Nick. And I'll be honest, this confidence is what's worrying me.
Yep.
I know it's worrying you, Thursday. It's the overconfidence that makes me worry even more because I'm a little confident too, which is kind of scary. I was worried about the snow and stuff. I didn't want like a bad pitch or anything like that. That doesn't seem to be the case based on all like the photos and stuff like that I've seen. But is that not, I guess like that's more like fan overconfidence. I don't think the team has that much overconfidence, I would think, going into this game. But What do you expect to see, Sergi, in terms of that, in terms of like the psyche of the game? Obviously, this is a very fragile United. So you get a lead, it's going to probably go down south for them. But especially in the beginning, till we break them down and get that lead, what do you expect to see?
Pretty much what I think everyone is saying, especially if you look at Amram, and he's very similar to Ange, and he's not going to change his ways, which kind of plays into our hands. And that's what's if it was Ten Hag, and you can expect, all right, yeah, they're going to park the bus, or Mourinho, they're going to park the bus and try and hit us on the counter. But he's, Amram's just going to do what he's doing, and he's which should play into our hands. But like you, it's the overconfidence is making me nervous. So if you, it's like Anand was saying, like if you look all over social media, and the Man United fans are just telling Salah, look, just don't, we just don't turn up, just take the 3-0, and we'll be done with it. It's that everyone's crapping them. So see Gary Neville trying to put Snow back on the pitch, like they're just. Brilliant. They're just accepting that they're going to get run over, and it's like, oh God, And then when you look at the Man United players, there's no leaders on there. None of them players any kind of self-pride. The one player that they did have any self-pride was McTominay, and they got rid of him. So it's everything is in line for us to smash him, and that's why it's making me nervous.
I mean, Nick says I'm a neutral. The prediction is based on current form of. I think so. If we take the emotion out of it, if we were looking at this on, I don't know, somebody playing Southampton or something like that, you know what I mean? Like, if we looked at it like that, I think, on paper, you would say form, squads, all that kind of stuff. You would probably give the edge to Liverpool as a neutral. So I can see that. Sparky says the pressure is reduced because of yesterday's results. Happy for a good win, but a draw won't kill us. Draw won't kill us, but it feels like this is where you really a draw almost like really relieves Arsenal a little bit, whereas a win like makes them even more depressed, which is something I'd be all for. But let me ask you this, Kazi. Anfield weather. Normally a game like this, the pressure that they would put on United and stuff would be a huge ordeal. Do you think the weather, the snow, the cold, which is nothing compared to probably what's out over here right now, but still, how do you think it will affect the game, if any?
Absolutely nothing. I just don't think United. I understand the worry, lads, because we've been scarred. Apart from the last 10 years, which have been pretty good. The 20 years before that has been hit and miss. So we've always had these scars in these games, and I get it. But this is a team who's 14th in the league, and we need to treat them like that. So I don't think the weather has any choice. We can sit there and we can put, look at United's side and go, well, they got Diallo and he's dangerous. It's not about any team in the league. If you play Ipswich, or that Liam Delap's dangerous. We can talk up any player if you want to. There's also a part where you go, United might want to come and get a draw. United might have a choice. Liverpool will just beat you. So you know what I mean? So I just think we need to kind of put it into context of I don't think the conditions will make any difference to this team, because I just think we are a level above. And if Liverpool play to 85% of their ability, I think we beat them. And I think Liverpool have to really have an off day for them to get anything. You know what I mean? And I also think, I slightly disagree here with Sparky's comment. I think the pressure's more ramped up on the game, because you can start putting daylight between you and Arsenal. You can really hate them. This is a team that again, forget the name. The 14th at home and won 6 games out of 19. 6. And they've lost the last 3 comfortably. I don't think they scored in the last 3. And that's why I'm so surprised about United's lineup, because he's put 2 defenders as fullbacks again.
Yeah.
For people who don't know, when you play 3-5-2, you need attacking. So you need basically wingers playing your fullbacks. It's the only way it works. So when you get the ball, they just do the natural thing of we're getting up the pitch, and you swallow them up the pitch. So when Conte won the league, they had Marcus Alonso and Victor Moses, who got 6 or 8 in the season each, because that's just 5 at the back. Dalot and Mazarawi just plays you 5 at the back, which means you get swallowed in midfield. So I just don't think that works either, and I think that plays into Liverpool's hand. I think if you're slot there and you look at their starting 11, you're made up. You're happy it's not like Dalot or Anthony on the wings and Mazarawi playing one of the centre-half roles so we can come into midfield, because I think that's more dangerous than what it is right now. So I just don't think, mate, even if United showed up with the Monsters, I don't think they'll beat this Liverpool team. I really don't.
I hope so. Salam says the biggest thing we need today is an early goal because we're such huge favorites. And I think that's, the longer it goes as a tied game, Brian, it looks like it would help. They're probably more because you got to figure they're going to be coming out. A lot of the squad already has like nightmare visions of Liverpool games. So they are probably afraid if it goes 1-0, 2-0, I can see this team, like a lot of these players on the pitch today saying, here we go again. But the longer it goes 0-0, it feels like they're like, maybe it's one of the other days. So it feels like an early goal, like within the first 20 minutes, or at least constant pressure will be key to kind of keeping United's hopes where they are right now, which is very low.
Oh, absolutely, and plus, like their bench options are not great. It's a pretty weak bench that they have. I mean, I think they can go back to Eriksson and Garnacho. I think are the only really offensive pieces they have in there going from. I think missing Rashford, not having Mason Mount, things like that are really. It's gonna be pretty rough for Amrin. I mean, we've seen like Kazi was saying, we've been scarred with matches like this so many times like that. So we're all like on pins and needles a lot of times with this. But the guys just need to go out there and do their job. They just need to go out there and do their job and treat them like you said, like they're a 14th place team. You do your job right there, and the result will come good. And that's just we just need to make sure we keep our heads into it. And I think Slot right there, like we were talking on Thursday right there, Slot is the type of person that takes the emotions out of this game. And that's the one thing we need to do is not get all in emotions with this. And kind of like how we did with Klopp, Gerrard, going through the whole thing, basically come there, just be clinical, do your job, come there and walk out, get 3 points and toss them aside and move on to the next match.
Sergi, that sounds great. I'm buying it. Sparky says weather and state of the pitch helps United more.
In what way does it help United more? What way does that help United?
I think if it was bad, it didn't look bad at all. I had a couple of people send me photos from the stadium, like they're at the game right now, and it just looks fine right now.
It's about 5 million.
Normally, I would definitely. My worry, I guess, going into the game was if it looked like how Sergi's background looks like.
Yes,
it helps United. It helps, shitty service helps the shittier team, and they are the shittier team. So, because things can happen, you know what I mean? Like people slip and stuff like that. On normal circumstances, that stuff would not happen. Can happen. Doesn't look like the pitch is bad. The weather, the cold, I don't think it affects one team or one way or the other, Sergi. But going back to the benches, let's take a look at that over there. It feels like knowing Slots, and one of his biggest strengths has been being able to make adjustments if he doesn't like what's going on. I mean, you look at those benches, there's definitely a lot more players on our bench that can affect the game compared to United.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, even if it was 0-0 at 60 minutes, I wouldn't be nervous as much as I would be under a Klopp team because Slot manages our efforts, our intensity throughout the game. So we're not just full intense like from kickoff and then we get to 60 minutes when we're just like tired legs. Now we have to bring someone else. It's the game management is immense with Slot. So I wouldn't be nervous at 60 minutes because I would still think that even if we go a goal down, I'd still think that we're capable of winning this game. Definitely with the bench, you've got Elliot, Nunes, Jota coming on. We have so much strength. It's again it's making me nervous because there's no reason, there's no valid reason for us not to destroy them today. And I don't understand the weather and state of the pitch part. Manchester's literally 27 minutes away.
No.
We share the same freaking weather, And
the weather, the cold part is, and my concern was if you're playing on ice, whether you dominate or not, somebody is gonna slip. You're gonna give up a stupid goal. That was my only concern.
It's not like Man United players play with ice skates and they're used to play it. It's our stadium. It's our pitch. It doesn't matter.
The pitch is covered after every match. It's a heated pitch. That pitch is fucking pristine. It's the warmest thing in Liverpool right now. Is that pitch? You know what I mean? I just don't think it's just, again, the reason why it was, by the way, for people who don't know, the reason why it was potentially getting called off is because of the outside of Anfield. because people could slip and slide and hurt themselves, and that's why health and safety kind of think of the fans, not to do with the pitch. The pitch is great. Fucking 5 million a year.
Yeah, for those of you who don't know, I don't know how Liverpool and Manchester are there because they're a bit more north. But I know in London, they don't believe in snow removal. They don't even prep for snow removal. It happens, and then it's kind of what I do with my driveway. You wait till it melts. And that's what London does. So
I like that.
Kazi, going back to, I don't know why, I mean, but I agree with Serzi, where I'm a bit more confident now when... Not confidence, but I'm a bit calmer, I guess, when it's 0-0, whether it's like the halftime or whatever. Compared to the Klopp era, I don't know why I feel like maybe psychological. There will be adjustments made, whether it's tactical or maybe the bench is deeper. I don't know what it is, but do you get the same feeling where you're like with Klopp? I was like, man, he needs to kind of shake him up. We need energy. But that's kind of like all you waited for, like just the energy, or, you know, Divock coming in the 85th to kind of like get a goal or something like that. Whereas it feels like there is a lot more tactical changes that are done now compared to before.
I agree with that. I will agree with that. I think the manager's I think that's the manager's probably his biggest strength. He's very good at in-game changing it, in-game. I think that's his biggest strength as a manager, really, which is a benefit. But again, I just keep going back to it, Tim. Like, we forget that the 7-0 game, we scored the first goal like the 43rd minute. Yeah. And then scored 6 in the second half. So, do you know what I mean?
That score was not as dominant as the play would, like, the play did not suggest
40, it was even. And then Liverpool countered them, scored, great goal, Gakpo, and then we just went right, and here we go.
You look at some of the goals, too, like, it's comical.
Like, going back to that, that's a team that's just sort of low confidence in terms of United. You've took the soul away from them. They were playing well at the time going into the game, but you've took the soul away from them a little bit. And there's a part, that's why I think in this game, if you score early, or even if it's like, you know, they'll always have that in the back of their mind, oh, please don't whack us. It's about the Newcastle game. Newcastle went 2-0 up, and they just went, we'll take 2-0. Don't do anything else to us. And that's a team who's just low on confidence, which, by the way, is completely fine to think like that. It's okay to be low on confidence, but you've got to get out of it some way. But Amorim's not going to change. He has to come out and try and get on the ball and try and open things. Because I said this before on the Friday podcast, mate. I think I should say it again. He's trying to show the sporting director what type of player he needs. Yeah. If he changes it now, he's going to go, what do you need? Because now you're getting wins at Liverpool or Southampton next week and Arsenal in the Cup, or you've won 3 on the bounce and you've done some changes. He's going to go, well, just stick to this. And he's like, no. He has to stick to his tactics because he has to, again, we're in January. He has to show what he needs. So I can't see any way to him that they can get a win, especially a win at Anfield.
Especially a win, yeah.
You know what I mean? They might be able to, if Liverpool play really badly, they can sneak a draw. But we all know if Liverpool just play well, they'll win. And that's how it is, because the options off the bench, as he just said, Harvey Elliott, Jota, and fucking Nunes, whatever you like. There's options all over the park. So it's just nice to see, man. And again, it's nice to have the shoe on the other foot. But the one thing I'd say is, don't make right, and I think it's important. In the early 2000s and the 90s, lads, when we were crap, let's be real. We're okay in the early 2000s, to be fair. United were the top dogs. We never got battered 7-0. We never lost 5-0 and 4-0 to them. We lost 4-0 once when Sammy Yapé got sent off in the first 10. Right? So, at Old Trafford. We never, ever got battered like these. These lads have been getting battered nearly every year by us. It's only last year that they kind of scathed one and we didn't beat them. You know what I mean? I just think
those Liverpool teams, you know, compared to this one, these United teams might be a bit better, actually, skill-wise, compared to those Liverpool teams. But they don't have the heart, like the fights or the heart that those teams have. And you know, you had guys who had a lot of heart and fight. They were just not good.
Yeah.
So compared to, I think, the United team, there are actually some potentially good players, but they're all like fragile and anything that can happen. That's actually one thing that gives me confidence, is the fact that Amorim will go out there and try to play the game regardless. He doesn't care as much about results right now, clearly. Whereas, you know, Ten Hag or somebody like that might be like, you know what, let's stop him first and stuff like that and play a lot more deep. But as we head into the game with that thought, Brian, we will start the prediction craze with you, and as it gets more and more confidence, we'll just see like Serzi melt before that snowman over there. Brian, what do you have?
Still saying 3-0, and I think that Diaz is going to be the impact player.
I think so too. I think he will be a nightmare to those center backs with his movement. Kazi, what do you have?
Yeah, 3-0. Been saying 3-0 all week. I just think they take 3-0. That's the weird part. I think United take 3-0. and go, just have a good win against us and don't be the backstage of the paper when you're getting beat 6. Do you know what I mean? And I think they swallow us in a weird way. If Liverpool go 3-0 up inside an hour, I think they'll take it.
Sparky's going with the 4-1. Spencer with the 3-1. I am sticking with the 3-0 as well. I almost like a game where we're up by 2-0.
You predicted the Liverpool clean sheet for the first time.
I mean, this is a rare, which just scares me even fucking more. Sergi, what do you have?
New Tamushin special, 3-0.
Come on.
I'm going to go for 6-0.
No, you're not.
I think, yeah, it's Salah. The way Salah's talking, it's going to be a swan song season and all this other bullshit. Is going to.
I'm not getting into this now.
And it's going to score his hat trick and give his interview about saying, yeah, you know, it's his last game against Man United at Anfield, and he had to score a hat trick today. So yeah,
you can always trust Mo Salah after the game to bring you back down to earth, can't you?
Yeah.
Thank you. Cheers, Pop.
No, let's hope so. I'll let everybody, if you give it a few minutes to get settled in front of their TV, and we'll be here right after the final whistle. Hopefully, talking about a big Liverpool again. Enjoy the game, everybody, and we'll see you guys after the game. Take care.